Hello student. Up till now we have covered two classes of diuretic, carbonic anhydrase inhibitor first and second is thiazide diuretic. Now let us start the third class of diuretic, that is potassium sparing diuretic. Potassium sparing diuretics, they are act on the late distal converted tubules, and these potassium sparing diuretic differ from other diuretic in that they increase excretion of sodium ions from the body while simultaneously reducing excretion of the potassium ions. So it is called as potassium sparing diuretics. Mainly they act on the distal converted tubule. Here they act by two mechanisms. One is inhibit the sodium channels, luminal sodium channel, the channel which is present here, and second mechanism is they inhibit the exchange of sodium and potassium by acting on the sodium potassium ATPase. Indirectly they inhibit the aldosterone binding. So these are the two mechanisms where they by act. Now we see in details. Potassium sparing diuretic that increase sodium and chloride excretion without concomitant increase in the urinary excretion rate of potassium, means without loss of the potassium. The other agent, diuretic agent, they causes hypokalemia, means the loss of potassium ions, but these agent inhibit the loss of potassium ions. So these agents are called as known as potassium sparing diuretic or anti-caloretic agents. Now classification, it is classified in two categories. One is aldosterone antagonist and second is direct acting diuretic. Aldosterone antagonist means they inhibit the role of sodium potassium ATPase pump, example is spironolactone, and indirect acting diuretics means direct acting direct acting diuretic means they block the sodium channels which are present in the luminal. Example is trimeterine and amiloride. Now characteristics of these agents. These agents are not potent diuretic when used alone, but when used in combination with other diuretic like thiazide, it produces the good action. Individually, they do not have that much diuretic property, but mostly they are given combination with the other diuretic. Example is thiazide diuretics. They reduce the potassium loss and increase sodium excretion. The other diuretic causes the potassium loss, and to reduce this potassium loss, this diuretic is given along with that other diuretics as a combination. It minimizes the alkalosis. The onset of the diuresis with combination therapy is much more rapid than the spironolactone alone. When alone individually spironolactone is given, the onset of action is slower, but when it given with combination, it produces the faster action. Now first drug, that is spironolactone, which is aldosterone antagonist. Here the structure of spironolactone, this is the structure of spironolactone, which having a steroidal nucleus. Steroidal nucleus. The steroidal nucleus is having a three rings, 1, 2, 3, and fourth ring is cyclopentane ring. So this ring is cyclopentano per hydrophenanthrin. This phenanthrin ring, this cyclopentano per hydrophenanthrin ring, that is the steroidal nucleus, general steroidal nucleus. And along with this ring there is 18 number, 19 number, 20 and 21 number. This 21 carbon nucleus is called as pregane. Pregane is called as pregane 1 to 20. Now different substitution on this ring. There is at 7th position, here the 7 alpha acetyl thio group is present. This at 3rd position 3 oxo. The attachment from the 17th position of this lactone ring. So here 17 and the pregane. This ring is pregane 4 in. 4 indicate the double bond is present. EN indicate double bond, and 4 indicate the double bond present after 4th carbon. Here the inside the ring the double bond is present, and the configuration of the 21 hydrogen and the 17 carbon is the beta configuration, and the at 17th position there is carbono-lactone ring. This is the lactone ring present at 17th position. So this is the chemical name. Now aldosterone antagonist, example spironolactone. It is used in the treatment of edema to release the extracellular fluid, and it is also used as a antihypertensive agent. They are, as I have told, it is used in the combination with other diuretics to reduce the hypokalemic effect of the other diuretic agent. Adverse effect at higher dose, it may cause hyperkalemia, means increase in the concentration of potassium, and it may produce metabolic acidosis. Now we see the mechanism of action. Aldosterone, that is the steroidal hormone which causes the electrolyte balance in the body, and aldosterone lower the excretion of sodium ions from the body and increasing their reabsorption and increasing the secretion of potassium ion in the renal tubules. So aldosterone, it lower the excretion of sodium ions from the body. Our diuretic inhibit the sodium reabsorption. Now aldosterone, it is the hormone, steroidal hormone, and our drug also having similar structure with that aldosterone. When aldosterone bind with the steroidal receptor, that is mineralocorticoid receptor, it causes the transcription of RNA, mRNA, and this transcription responsible for the working of the sodium potassium ATPase pump. Here sodium potassium ATPase pump, it exchange the sodium with the potassium. Also this transcription of mRNA, it is responsible for the synthesis of sodium channel. Sodium channel also present in the luminar. Here the sodium channels. So the potassium which is present in the blood, it exchange with the sodium which is present in the luminar or renal fluids. The sodium comes into the blood and the potassium goes out from the blood. So this is the working of sodium potassium ATPase pump, and it is controlled or regulated by the aldosterone. Once again I will repeat. Aldosterone bind with the mineralocorticoid receptor, steroidal receptor, and this combination complex, it causes the transcription of mRNA. This transcription is responsible for activation of sodium potassium ATPase pump. Here the potassium from the blood goes outside and the sodium from the renal tubules comes into the blood. Also this transcription of mRNA, it is responsible for the synthesis of the sodium channels. Here the sodium channels, through the sodium channels from renal tubules, sodium comes into the blood, and this is somewhat also regulated by the aldosterone. Now our drug, similar structure with the aldosterone. Instead of aldosterone, it bind with this mineralocorticoid receptor and stop this mechanism of the aldosterone, that is stop the exchange of potassium with the sodium. So potassium remains in the blood and sodium remains in the renal tubular fluid, and by this way it causes excretion of sodium without loss of the potassium. Aldosterone is the principal mineralocorticoid. It is adrenal steroid. The receptor is member of nuclear hormone receptor family. So this is the mechanism of action of the spironolactone. Spironolactone is metabolized to cannabinol, which is also an active aldosterone antagonist. Here the conversion of the spironolactone, it is metabolized to the cannabinol, and this cannabinol is the responsible for the aldosterone antagonism. Now next is the direct acting potassium sparing diuretics. It consists in your syllabus 2 drugs. First drug is triamterene. It is the IUPAC name 2,4,7 triamino 6-aryl pteridine. 2,4,7 triamino 6-aryl pteridine. This is the pteridine nucleus. At second position, fourth position and seventh position there is amino group, so triamino, and at sixth position there is aryl group or phenyl group, so 6-aryl pteridine. In ACR, in short, para substitution of phenyl ring with hydroxyl group increases activity. The phenyl group present at sixth position, the para position when it is substituted with the hydroxyl group, it increases the activity. The phenyl group can be replaced by the small heterocyclic ring without affecting that much action. This phenyl group can be replaced with the smaller heterocyclic ring. The amino group must be unsubstituted. The NH2, it should be a primary NH2. The hydrogen cannot be substituted. It has structure similarity to folic acid and certain dihydrofolate reductase inhibitor, but it has little or if any or their activity. The pteridine nucleus is also present in folic acid, and the enzyme dihydrofolate reductase, which convert the folic acid into the tetrahydrofolate, and that is responsible for the synthesis of DNA that we have seen in the antineoplastic. But due to structural similarity, somewhat in very minor quantity, they inhibit the dihydrofolate reductase inhibition. Adverse effect: hyperkalemia, renal stone formation. It also retain the calcium, so it may be formation of renal stones or GIT symptoms, diarrhea. Uses treatment of edema and hypertension, and use in the combination with other diuretics. Second drug, direct acting diuretic, is pyrazinoyl gonidines. It is developed from the gonidines or urea. Over 25,000 agents were examined in an attempt to discover the anti-caloretic with no hormonal activity. The spironolactone, it is having a hormonal activity, but in attempt to discover the new agents, more than 25,000 agents are examined. From that, the drug pyrazinogonidine example is amiloride is investigated. Optimal diuretic activity is observed when, so ACR in short, the sixth position is substituted with the chlorine. Here gonidine nucleus, this is the sorry, this is guanidine nucleus and this is pyrazine nucleus. Here the 6th position is substituted with the chlorine. The amino group at 3-5 position are unsubstituted, means primary amino group should be present at 3rd and 5th position. The guanidino nitrogen are not substituted with the alkyl group. These guanidino nitrogen should not be substituted with the alkyl group. So this is the in short SAR. Then pharmacokinetics, let's see. Moderately plasma protein bound. After absorption, it moderately bound to the plasma protein. Bioavailability is 15 to 20%, used in combination with the hydrochlorothiazide. This is the brand name. Mechanism action, both this trimeterin and this amiloride, these drugs, amiloride, hydrochloride, this drug prevent the sodium channel. They directly block the sodium entry through the sodium selective ion channels which are present on the distal converted tubules. They inhibit the absorption of the reabsorption of the 2 to 3% of filtered sodium by directly blocking the sodium ion channels. When sodium does not comes into the enter into the cells, there is no exchange of sodium and potassium, so potassium remains in the blood or the distal nephron. Side effects, they are produces hyperkalemia, nausea, vomiting, headache and diarrhea. So this is about the potassium sparing diuretics. Two categories, one is aldosterone antagonist, second is direct acting sodium channel blocker. Thank you for your attention.